Hello there, welcome back to another video of me yapping once more. I already did a similar video talking about the festival pass, and that one was more of like checking out the new cosmetics and what came about to level up their pass, the quests and stuff. So for this one is something similar to leveling up in Fortnite, especially when it comes to the battle pass and the leveling system, in which some of you guys are interested in that because, yeah, leveling up the battle pass is cool and all, but this time I just hopped into the grindfest train in the first season of Chapter 5 and actually leveled up above level 200. But as you can tell, I've officially beat Fortnite. Actually, I reached level 1001, and a lot of people started asking me how I managed to get to that level. To be honest with you, I know some of you are gonna point at me wiggling your index finger. Honey, you did the bunny hop glitch stepping on Legos. Girl, you just live and breathe in Creative XP map. Aewol, you accidentally swiped your card for the first 200 tiers. Anyways, I will admit to the bunny hop one, but it got patched right away because I was late, and then I went on my day after I hit around 250, so I had so many people asking on my live streams how I managed to get to that level after a lot of patches on the leveling system. I told them my answer, but they kept bringing up those XP maps, quote unquote glitches. It's bizarre to me. What's even more bizarre is the amount of videos on YouTube that people are pumping. It's insane. Like, come on, you can't make this up. I even tried one myself, and honestly, really? Why would you put a million XP on the thumbnail when you're getting way less? Why are you overemphasizing everything you say? Just why? I think it'll only work if you haven't played for a long time or your account is new. But from my experience on this, I don't recommend it, which is why I plan to maybe make a video for a detailed answer for people that are like asking how I got to this level. It would speak way louder on how I managed to get to level 1000 without playing creative at all. So after they introduced the metaverse and brought it into Fortnite, there are so many ways to level up. You can still do the usual way, finish quests in Battle Royale and casually do whatever in those matches. I can list a bunch more that you can get levels surprisingly easy that people are still gonna be in denial about it. And I don't blame them. This is only for people who are looking forward to grinding as much XP for the next season's battle pass. As of recording this, we are close to getting to season 2 in chapter 5 in just a matter of days. So obviously our levels are gonna reset to 1 as soon as the season rotates. Alright, so the first thing I did, of course, all of you know about me, I obviously play Save the World. I also do cover a lot of videos about Save the World. I'm known for the Storm Shield defense videos, feel free to check that out. So about Save the World, the mode is locked behind a paywall, of course. You can buy the Save the World access pack at the very bottom of the item shop, along with the bundles. Whenever you play a good amount of missions, you will obviously earn Battle Pass XP once you complete it. It varies depending on what type of mission you play, endurance being the number one thing to get the biggest amount of XP you can get in Save the World. Although that goes for about 2.5 hours. It's too long, and I get that. The reason why a lot of people are trying to find weird and funny ways to stall out the mobs without moving much. But to be fair, there are still more ways to get XP. If you want the quickest way, of course, you gotta speedrun the missions. I already made a video about that, speedrunning versus increasing difficulty. It's right there in the description. It usually takes around 10 minutes if you are running defense missions, because usually defense time takes about 6 to 8 minutes. Some of them take really really long. And some missions don't actually have a defense objective, and you can probably finish those quite fast if you have a good squad and somewhat. There are some limited time missions that takes place each season, could also give you a great amount of it. Frost Night, Hit the Road, Survive the Horde, and I leave the best on last. Dungeons. Dungeons are really fun and best way to farm both XP and gold. Remember, power level doesn't matter as long as you're playing Save the World missions. It will give you the same amount of battle pass as the higher ones. So you can run a low power level dungeon and kind of speed run it, and with a squad you might be able to finish it in about 5 minutes or around that, which is super good. I remember that there is a chart for seeing which mission seems best to get a lot of XP, but unfortunately, the creator of that spreadsheet paywalled it for some reason. So I'm gonna shove a screenshot of the one I saw on Discord. There you go. It doesn't show all the missions, unfortunately, but of course, feel free to pause it whenever. Keep in mind, any XP values shown in that screenshot can subject to change between BR seasons, depending on how long they go for. So the Save the World XP cap on the season I'm on right now, as of recording this, is 320k, which is 4 levels because 80k XP is 1 level. That might change at some point, and there are quests that don't count towards the cap, the daily quests and the weekly ones, of course, meaning that you can get a little more XP than 320k in Save the World. Now, I don't really recommend buying Save the World off of the item shop. It is fun and grindy, and I know the majority look at the game as if you'd get pointed at right off, like you'll easily get ripped off of something because of the amount of scammer get scammed videos kind of ruined the image of the game mode. But if you're really interested in progressing through Save the World, feel free to grab the game mode whenever. Next one that I grinded is not locked behind a paywall, and it's my new favorite game mode ever since it got out back in December 2023, Fortnite Festival. Now, this is more of like a playtime than jumping in and out of Save the World missions, especially if you are on console and a little annoyed by playing loading screen simulator. In Festival, you don't have to worry much. You can play as many set lists as you want, and believe it or not, that's the only thing you just gotta do in Festival for XP. But for how long, you ask? According to iFireMonkey on Twitter, I saw their tweet about the XP cap on different modes, including Festival, but I couldn't find it, and of course I lost it. I'm very clumsy. But the cap from Fortnite Festival, if I remember correctly, is 400k. That is 5 straight levels, and I think the playtime has to be at least 3.5 hours to get the full 400k XP. And to be honest, that's actually alright. Some songs take a while to be done, so I highly recommend playing Fortnite Festival. And I do believe the quests from it gives you a certain amount of XP rather than just the festival points for its own pass. I'm not sure about that part, but for the playtime, I'm very sure about it. Now that we're having a very good amount of jam tracks and a daily rotation of songs nowadays, you won't get as bored during the grind and enjoy music for almost every day, especially if you're a rhythm gamer and a music savvy like me. Next one, I will also have to say the same with playtime here, and it's Lego Fortnite. To be honest, if you love sandbox and survival genre, or if you're so familiar with Minecraft and Ark Survival, this game mode might be of your best interest. The playtime to get the XP cap is also the same thing as Fortnite Festival, 400k in 3.5 hours or longer, and you also have multiple quests you can complete to get some extra XP as well. I assume those quests are not limited time, so I'm banking those for next season, by the way. The same thing with the quests in Save the World. Lego Fortnite, in my honest opinion, is fun. They are doing a lot of quality of life changes and a bunch of updates. Exploring is great, and crafting your own stuff is great as well. Heck, I even had a lot of fun grinding XP on Lego by killing brutes and placing stupid stuff in the sandbox world. Oh yes, I forgot to say, whichever world you play on, the XP still counts. Survival or sandbox. You can pretty much tell I'm more into PvE than PvP. Speaking about PvP, of course, I also grinded the usual way that the majority of people do. Another one on this list is Battle Royale, but in a certain way to get XP. Of course, by doing the daily and weekly quests, they give you a bunch of XP. That's a clear answer. Doing milestones is also a great way to get a lot of XP along the way. They have stages as well that can take you a while to finish, so like any basic stuff you do in a match will probably count towards your milestone and XP, like traveling distances, opening chests, surviving storm circles, even pushing people for elims, because those give you a good amount of XP. If you play in a team, just knocking opponents and not eliminating them also gives you XP, which is weird, but I took it anyways. Pretty much anything you do gives XP in a Battle Royale match, even if you play casually. But if you're just looking for XP purely, the best method I can tell you is opening anything at least 800 times. Because each chest or containers give exactly 100 XP. The rare chest ones are a little extra, by the way. If you open those 800 times, that's one level. I know it's a grind, but you can achieve that by going into a place where you can find the most chests, like a vault or a big building with a lot of rooms, stuff like that. Then once you've done picking up all the chests in that one place, you can back out of the match and requeue again and do the same thing. I know some of you are gonna ask, where is Rocket Racing? Well, I can probably say that game mode contributed at some point. Well, initially, I would have to say the dailies are the best ones that gives a good amount of XP in Rocket Racing. Other than that, grinding in ranked is definitely not the best when you can get much more on others. If you're into racing games, maybe you'd get into this one. I don't mind racing being that competitive, honestly, but if you wanna grind like 20 or 30 matches for one rank that gives you a chunk of XP, like just one level, you can. It's just that for me personally, I don't need to when I can get levels in that span of time. But I'd consider rocket racing as a side thing to do if needed be. I'm not saying you shouldn't include this as part of the grind, but it's there if you want the last bit of XP. So if we collect all that XP into one, 800k total with Festival and Lego, 320k with Save the World, that's over a million XP you can get per day, equals to getting 14 levels. With daily quests in Save the World and Battle Royale as extras, you'll get even more than 15 levels without creative at all. It's absolutely insane. But in order to earn that much, you obviously have to invest so much time to it. Almost every day if you want to get to level 200 that fast each season moving forward. Like at least 8 hours into the grind can get you about 10 levels of whichever game mode you use here. If you don't have Save the World, that is fine. You don't have to worry about it, and not everyone has it. I know that for sure. And you are free to skip it out of the list if you are completely a free-to-play Fortnite player. You can consider it as an optional method if you think about buying it later or you don't want to bother it in any way. It's all up to you. And that's how I managed to get 1,000 levels without playing a creative map in Chapter 5, Season 1. I actually did a few, I'll admit to that, but it didn't give me that much, to be honest with you. It was mostly for testing if the interaction accolade XP in creative gives as much, and it didn't on my end, so I had to, not include it on my grind because it was so little. I've had people telling me they managed to get over 300 levels by just actively play Save the World exclusively, like they didn't touch VR at all, which is really crazy to me, but like I said, it's not something you need. I'll most likely do the same next season without buying the extra 25 levels, and I'll just start from the ground up, level 1 like everyone else. And I'll see if I can finish the battle pass in a short amount of time. If you're still interested in seeing me how I did it, I sometimes stream myself playing and leveling up above 200 and whatnot. Feel free to stop by and watch. Everybody's welcome to see. Another thing I got asked, do I recommend getting 1,000 levels? Short answer, generally no. For bragging rights, yes. Even if you're bored, still no, because the grind is tedious as hell. I will still not recommend it for every reason possible, unless you want to show off, like the Party Royale Andy's there. But yeah, that should be the end of this video. If you have any other thoughts, feel free to share them in the comments. Make sure to use my creator code in the item shop or at the Epic Game Store if you want to feed me and motivate me to make more yapping videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, take care of yourself, and love yourself.